Welcome back to the Talking with Taylor podcast. I'm your host, Taylor, where we talk with anyone about anything, and hopefully everyone around the table will listen. And I am so excited today to have a very special guest. Her name is Mattie Alston, and she is a former student of mine. And she is one of those students that when you think about leadership, she's one of those students you want in your student ministry as a youth pastor because she's a leader, she's a go-getter, and she's great all around. And so I'm so blessed to have her on this podcast. We're going to talk about a few things with her, what it's like to be a senior in a pandemic, what it's like to win Distinguished Young Woman in Bibb County, and a couple other things. But Mattie Alston, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good, Mattie. Everything crazy down there in Bibb County in the Rona world?
A little crazy this past few weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's hard to. Everyone's trying to navigate, and recently we found out our president has COVID, so no one is immune to getting it.
No, not at all.
So it's man, it is crazy. Well, I mentioned earlier as I was introducing you that you're a former student of mine. You're a senior at Bibb County High School, and when I think about you as a student, I think about you as a student leader. And one of the things we did, and when I was a youth pastor there, and Lonnie, I think, took you to 301, was Student Leadership University. What is something that you learned from Student Leadership University that has stuck with you and that you've been able to carry throughout your high school career?
Really, the whole program really was just amazing, going to all the different places. But one thing I always think about is, especially doing stuff like, and all the stuff I'm involved with, is swallow the big frog first.
Yes.
Really just get the hard stuff done and out of the way, and then you can focus on just cruising through the easy stuff.
That's right. Knock out the big stuff first. And let me see. Let me show you this. So SLU has this in their store right now, and I'll send you one of these, but check them out. The big three. So write them down every day. That's right. And that's a leadership principle that is one of those ones that just stick out. And you remember, you talk a lot about leadership at the conferences, but the one session I think everyone remembers is definitely the swallow the big frog first, getting the hard stuff done. And as a leader, being able to do that, and like you said, everything you're involved in, you've got to learn how to manage your time. And obviously you have done so well with that. And so you've been all the way to 301, right? 101, 201, 301. Yes. You're ahead of me. I mean, I can't believe it. You're ahead of me. You and your dad, and who all went to 301 with you?
Me, Dad, Sarah Jane and Woodham, Lonnie, Amy, and Miss Susan Young. I think and Landon and Trevor were there too. Sorry,
okay.
Landon and Trevor, forgot about.
Can't forget them. No. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your 301 experience. What was your favorite part of 301?
Really just seeing all the places that you learn about your whole life and like textbooks and stuff, actually getting to go there and experience it. It was crazy. It's a lot different from 101 and 201. 101 and 201 are really sitting down, really learning, going in the conference room. 301's going out and learning about the place at the actual, the place you're talking about.
That's right.
It's crazy.
That's awesome. Well, we were on track here at Valley View to be going to 201. Your brother is going with us, and he's going to go to hopefully 301 with us next year, and not next year, in 2 years now, because of COVID messes everything up, right? And so, but hopefully, we'll get to experience that and get to check out 301. And as a leader, you're involved in so many different things. You're a cheerleader, you do it all, and you're involved in student ministry. But you won something called Distinguished Young Woman of Bibb County. Is that correct? And a couple years ago, not too long ago, I'm coming up on my 10-year reunion next year. So I'm getting old. It's starting to, I feel like that's the marker where it's like, man, reality check is here. And so when I was coming through high school, it was called Junior Miss, but now it's called Distinguished Young Woman. It's an incredible organization, an incredible thing for young ladies to do, to go earn scholarship, to go and, use your scholastic ability and use the God-given talents that he's given you, to go thrive as women and thrive as individuals. And so you won it's called DYW, right?
Yes.
DYW, you won that in Bibb County. So what did you do? What was your talent, and what was your favorite part about it?
My talent was singing and playing bass for Graves into Gardens by Elevation.
Yes.
But I am changing it for state and doing a gymnastics like jazz routine.
Cool.
But my favorite part about the week was probably just being with the girls that were in it, because they were some of my best friends anyway. And then I got to meet some girls from West Blockton that I didn't already know.
Right.
And it was fun getting to learn about them and know them. And then really just getting to experience it and like how much I grew and like came out of my shell during the week.
Absolutely. And that's, I was able to watch on Facebook Live. So that was one cool thing, that because usually a lot of people can't come. It's a limited amount of seats. And so everybody got to watch this year. And I was so proud of you and so proud of everyone that was able to participate, and excited for you for state, which is in January.
Yes.
And state's a little different this year, right? So tell us what you guys have to do for state in preparation and how it's going to be different.
Well, about a month ago, we got an email. They told us that state was going to be virtual this year, which kind of hurts because you don't get to learn about the other girls, get to bond with them. Everybody talks about that's one of the best parts, getting to know people from other counties. But so we're having to send in our videos for talent, and then we're going to do a Zoom call for our interview. Yeah. Send in our fitness on a video. But the talent was due like last week, so I went down to the school and videoed it.
Good.
Send it in for judging. And then I think the next thing due is my on-stage question that I'll have to video and send in.
Well, I know you'll do incredible. And let's talk about your talent that you're doing for state for a minute. You said it's a gymnastic jazz routine.
Yes.
And so I remember, I don't know if you remember this. I remember coming to, I think one of your gymnastics meets when I think you were like 7th grade, right? When youth was starting out.
Yes.
And you were incredible then. I know you're going to be incredible coming up. For state, which you've already done it, so I guess it'll be live and virtual, and people can watch it and see. So that's going to be great. And COVID's tough, like you said. It's taken away things like the camaraderie that you can build with those ladies and those just those experiences. But one thing that I've seen leaders have to do, and this is I talked with Marcus Ogden yesterday, I think, on the podcast, and he's a former NFL guy. His brother's a Hall of Famer in the NFL, and he doesn't top Mattie Alston though. That's why we had to have Mattie Alston right now. And so, but when I was talking to him, and this is the same for you, is that regardless of whether you're a distinguished young woman or whether you're an NFL Hall of Famer, you gotta pivot when adversity comes. You got to pivot when it's a difficult time, and that's one thing that I've seen you do. All throughout high school, but also with Distinguished Young Woman and with high school and student leadership, I've seen you pivot as a leader, and that's something I think we all can learn from. Well, here's going to be kind of our last topic. I think all high school seniors would love to just kind of vent and talk a little bit about what it's like to be a high school senior during a global pandemic. So kind of talk to me about that. What has it been like to be a senior during a global pandemic?
It's been interesting, to say the least. It started off pretty good the year. Going to school like normal, just wearing a mask. That was basically the only different thing. And then about a week and a half ago, Dad got COVID.
Uh-oh.
I've been
Mr.
quarantined.
J.
Yes, I've been quarantined. And then last week, a whole bunch of people got quarantined.
Yeah.
So now most of the school's out. We're all doing virtual.
Well, the principal's out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's going good.
Well, that's the only attitude I think we can have is, it's a crazy world. And who would have thought? I mean, literally, let's go back to January. I know Lonnie took you guys to Strength to Stand, and we saw you guys there. And man, the year just started out with the boom. You had Kanye West there and the packed auditorium. We all probably got COVID from that auditorium.
Oh, yeah,
but it is what it is. But it just started off great. And then February was Lift Tour. You guys came to Lift Tour. And then March hits. We're getting ready to, and I know you remember spring break mission trip when we went to Las Vegas. And we had, I don't know if you saw the podcast where we had the pastor and student pastor on last week. And so, which is really cool what God's doing there. But we were getting ready to take our students down to New Orleans, and we had to make a decision 2 days before. Hey, we got to call it off. And so, which, you know, I think now looking back, I think it definitely was the right decision. But now I think we're all having to learn how to live with this pandemic, because it's not going away anytime soon. And at some point, your senior year you're almost halfway there, you know. And
I know it's crazy.
That's something
I don't want to think about it.
I know something you don't want to think about. Your mama don't want to think about. I know no one wants to think about that. But hey, guys, everyone that's listening, we got to learn how to live with this thing. We can't stop living. And you know, it's a real deal. Your dad has it, right? My grandmother had it, and there's a lot of people that have this disease, and we're fighting through it. But guys, we as leaders, we got to pivot. We can't use COVID as an excuse. We need to look at it as an opportunity to grow, because I think God is teaching us something through it. But well, Mattie, I'm so proud of you, and
Thank you.
I wanted to interview you because, you know, I was like, man, if I could pick a couple students, I got a few that I'm gonna reach out to. I knew you had to be one of the first ones to be on the podcast, and so
well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm so proud of you, and I know we talked a little bit about where you're potentially going to go to school, and you just keep me posted and keep me updated, and we're praying for you, Mattie.
Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, that was Mattie Alston. She is going to be competing for Distinguished Young Woman of Alabama, and it's going to be virtual this year in January. So be sure to support her and all the young ladies that are participating in that. And guys, thank you so much for listening to the Talking with Taylor podcast.